Are you ready to master the art of creating content that converts?
Hey, I'm Mia, a mum of two who went from being a burnt-out AMBO to six-figure content creator in less than a year, all while navigating a late ADHD diagnosis.
And I'm Kristen, also a mum of two and a former corporate branding queen turned entrepreneur. My dyslexic brain sees marketing very differently, and that's my superpower.
And together we're showing women like you how to master video marketing and create content that generates income.
Whether you're just starting out or ready to scale, we are breaking down everything from landing brand deals to building your own empire.
Welcome to I Am That Content Creator podcast, where we turn scroll-stopping content into serious income.
No filters, no fluff.
Just real strategies from two neurodivergent mums who get it. So let's turn your phone into a video marketing machine.
And let's go!
Let's go!
Guys, be professional, guys. How's it going? Good. Okay, there's our intro done.
Welcome to the I Am That Content Creator podcast. We're cutting through the noise to show you exactly how to create scroll-stopping content, land premium brand deals, and build a thriving online business. No BS, just proven strategies that scale. Welcome, I'm Kristen Werner, joined by Mia. Let's go.
But right now, we're talking about a topic that I think is probably close to both of us in terms of what happens after UGC. And that doesn't mean that like you stop doing UGC forever. That means we know that in the UGC space, now that is user generated content, there comes a point where you're burnt out, overwhelmed, kind of go, okay, this is really great. I've earned a great income. What's next? And I know, Mia, it's probably best if you start to talk through this because I feel like you've been there. And then we want to talk about kind of the world of digital products and what that could mean for you.
Yes. So we're going to talk about UGC and beyond. We love the beyond part because UGC is such a good low barrier to entry. I don't want to call it a side hustle because it's so much more than a side hustle. I think a lot of people think that it's just this fun little way to get free products and, you know, a bit of extra cash on the side. But there's so many creators making this their full-time gig, and the skills that you learn from UGC will set you up long-term, way down the track, because if your content isn't good, you can't sell anything. Doesn't matter if you want to set up a physical product business or a digital product business or what have you. You need good content and you need to know how to create content that converts. And if you want to start running your own ads, having that UGC experience is so worth it. And so when I first started UGC, you know, it took off really quickly, and I don't know what that is, something on my TikTok live. And I replaced my wage really quickly. And so I was getting all these brands coming to me, and, you know, I reached that $10,000 a month. I'm like, this is friggin' fantastic. But after a while, because you're a freelancer and you're dealing with so many brands and, you know, your inbox is full and you're getting back to people and you're trying to, you know, work it all at once, it can be overwhelming, and you can reach a point where you get this creative burnout. You're like, I don't think I can work with another brand at this point. So that's when I started to introduce other things like affiliate marketing and digital products to earn some money more passively, something that was scalable, so that I could bring back down the UGC jobs a little bit to a point where it was manageable and I wasn't getting overwhelmed with all these products and dealing with all these brands. So, you know, not only was I getting those skills from the UGC, but that was actually helping me to promote the affiliate products and build my digital products. So
giving you the confidence to show up online constantly as well. Like if you're creating videos and you're creating content.
Yeah, and not only are you creating all this content for the brands, but you're trying to build your own personal brand and do your own content. So I can get a lot. But those UGC skills are setting you up to become more successful in other things that you do a lot quicker. Because if you come into this space and you just want to sell a digital product, you've got no social media experience, no content creation experience.
It's tricky.
You're going to find it really hard because you got to build an audience with that sort of stuff. You need to build a personal brand, and that takes time, and it can get really frustrating in the beginning if you're not making any sales and you're like, why? This is hard and I'm going to give up. But you haven't nailed that content piece, which UGC really helps you do.
is I just did a TikTok the other day about, the fact that when it comes to creating content, it can feel really tricky and hard and we get stuck and all of that. And some of the comments that came back, one particular person came back and said, she's not bad at creating content. She quite enjoys it. It's easy. It's not hard. But she said, I'm not getting the engagement. Not getting people wanting to know more or anything like that. And then I went and looked at her TikTok. And to me, it was plain as day. And I will go back to her and do a video that helps her because I'm all about that. But every single video was this hard sell, this get the thing, sign up. And then I was like, whoa, okay. So then I went to the link in bio and the link in bio was like one of the very, unfortunately, a little bit spammy, like sign up, change your life immediately. And there was no warm up. There was no nurture. There was like, if you put your email in there, you kind of know, and maybe because we're in the online space, we know what's going to happen next. But it was just very cold and very like, what is this? Like, she's not telling me in these pieces of content what this is, why she started it, how she felt about it, where she was, her journey, her story. The personal brand part wasn't there. It was just this immediate smack of sell, desperate sell. And therefore, that's what UGC can do for you as a content creator is give you, if you're not skilled in marketing and branding, and even if you are, it still gives you a skill set that's going to allow you to be better at it. But it's that nurture, that personal brand, that softness that you need as a creator for somebody to actually stop. Because I think so often we think that somebody putting their email address in is just like another email. That is a currency. That is like somebody saying, here's $1. Yeah. Because it's your email account is very like, I have 4. So there are certain ones that I'm like, I don't want that coming to my main one. So I'm going to put it in there because I just want to know the information, but I don't want to be annoyed with all your emails. So it's a currency where somebody's saying, I trust you to come into my life. And I think what's good about what we're speaking to you about with this UGC and beyond is it's going, cool, UGC is like this starter pack of awesomeness where you can get paid when you don't need to have an audience. You don't need to put it on your own social media page. You can start getting paid in 30 days or less. We have a fast track method that can make you do that, help you do that, support you to do that. But then once you're at a point where you're like, oh, okay, this is a lot. I want to pull back a bit, but I'm so passionate about creating something online. What's next? And building that audience and sustaining a personal brand that's magnetic is everything. And it's missed a lot of the time from those people that haven't done UGC. I know that for clearly.
Yeah. And you think about it, brands come to UGC creators because they know that content is so valuable and these creators know how to create content that converts.
Yeah.
So they're coming to you for that because they know how powerful it is. So when you understand how to do that for your own business and your own ads and your own audience, like it's a no-brainer to learn those skills now because it's going to set you up. And not only that, but you're getting paid to learn and it's all kind of behind the scenes. You don't have to shout it out to the world that you're this UGC creator and all this sort of stuff. You're getting paid. So therefore your nervous system is, not out of control because you're so desperate to make money and you become desperate in your content to sell all the time because you're not making that money. And you're learning from brands and understanding their target audience and their problem and their solutions and how to create content for them. And you're just building this conversion instinct within you. Like now I don't have to think twice about creating an ad to get people to take action. It just comes out because I've done UGC for so long. So it's this beautiful, sequence of events that is going to help you long term. And UGC is the kind of thing where you're like, well, it's not something, it might be for some people, but it's not something where you sit down and go, I want to be a UGC creator for the next 10, 20 years.
No.
Because it's very hard to scale because you're trading your time for money. So it's very hard to scale and it can become, overwhelming when you've got 10, 20 clients on the go at once. So you do need to start thinking about, okay, what's next after UGC? What's the next step? And naturally it is affiliate marketing or a digital product or, something along those lines.
And that's the kind of natural progression to take it into that digital product space that you've got something. What you're wanting to do with the digital product basically is taking somebody that's in a problem and they've got a problem and you're giving them a transformation with what you can teach them. Now, a lot of UGC creators will often kind of find their first digital product being a how-to guide or a what did I do? How did I get into it? What did I start? how did I start? And there's nothing wrong with that, because at the end of the day, you need to be thinking about your personal brand as, no matter what you're doing as you're creating your digital footprint, you want to be attracting people. So if it is that your first thing is a how-to guide, nothing wrong with that. You want to start collecting emails and start being magnetic to the people that are watching your content and following your content. Now, some people, that might not be what you want to do, but you start somewhere. Start in that process, and that helps you understand your ideal customer and your target audience, so that when you're creating content, you're actively thinking about who you want to speak to, what you want to share with them, how you want to engage them, because there comes a point with a digital product and being in this online space where you'll give so much value for free, which is a must. Like, it is what it is. You give all that value for free, and then there comes a moment where you go, hang on, I want to now create a digital course or a digital product or a community or a membership that I can put money on. And all of a sudden you've nurtured this community of people in your emails that then you're able to say, I've actually started this particular product. I've created an ebook. I've created a course. I've created a membership. Here it is. And then your audience are like, oh, yay, finally you've done something. Here's my money. But you've warmed them up to that. You haven't just kind of gone gangbusters with whatever you're doing and just started an account and said to people, buy my thing. Like, there's a real warm, real nurture process to creating a digital product that is actually going to convert, and the content is 1,000% that. And we talk about it often, the amount of
you need a nurture funnel. Like, instead of a sales funnel, I like to call it a bit of a nurture funnel. And inside our community, that's why we're so passionate in, there's a lot of UGC courses out there, right? But they just teach how to do UGC. But we teach our students personal branding, how to build an email list, how to understand your target audience, knowing your deep why, this holistic sort of teachings, because we see UGC as that first step that you need to go to the next step much quicker. So we're sort of priming our students to think ahead and start collecting emails. Even if you don't know what your digital product is yet, what you want to do in the future, it's important to understand lead generation and building that personal brand, and all the while you're learning how to create great content through your UGC. And that's why I think a lot of people just see UGC as this stupid little hot side hustle, but it's not. You got to look at it like step one of getting to the next stage a lot quicker. And that's why, I was able to scale 3 separate businesses to 6 figures pretty quickly because of that UGC and that knowledge and that experience that I had working with brands. And some of the brands that you work with, and if you form these relationships with them, they'll teach you. They'll give you a look at what they're doing, and you have, you can catch up with them and, talk about creative strategy, and, you get feedback from them on how your ads are performing. And then when you go and create your own ads, you're like, shit, like we're getting 60% hook rates and really great click-through rates and all this stuff because we understand that converting content.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that I've had a complete perimenopausal moment where my brain, like, I had this idea and I was like, I even did that because I do that too. I saw you did a TikTok about like ADHD people, and I was like, perimenopause.
I got to do that too. I'm like, I got to think about what I was going to say. I'm like, it's going to go. It's going to go.
It, but it was. Oh, no.
Gone now.
Stop. Oh, that's what it was. Here we go. The thing that we have done, which, and I know I have maybe done more than you, Mia, but I think we've done it in our own respective ways, is invested a lot of money in courses, a lot of money in learning, a lot of money in personal development, coaches, courses, all those things, which I have absolutely no regret to. Every single thing I've invested in has helped me in business, personal brand, business brand, my knowledge. So that's not the problem. But the thing that we do differently, the thing that we celebrate so much inside our community and why we're teaching UGC as this fundamental foundational thing is every single, and I would have spent, I hope my husband doesn't listen to this podcast so we can just cruise over this to over 20 grand on coaching and courses. I've made it all back, so whatever, suck it. But all of them teach you messaging and avatars and audience and content pillars. And I'm in brand and marketing, but they teach this stuff so you get deep in it, like you engross yourself in it. Not one of them teach you how you can go from zero to earning any money in 30 days, which is what we do inside with the fast track method, because we saw this opportunity where Mia and I met, and she had this incredible background in her UGC and then affiliate marketing and all of that. And I had my background in personal branding, business branding. And there was like, there's this huge gap here where we've got these women that we're both watching who can do UGC and do what I'm doing in digital products and create that. But they're missing this step, which is how to kind of make it all work. And when we joined up and created this and went, hang on a minute, if we can teach women, we can teach people how to do UGC so that they can earn a flexible income and start to get paid on their own terms in their own time, and then build the digital product of their dreams, if that's what it's going to be, it takes this huge weight off your shoulders, which is the financial weight of being an entrepreneur, which I carried for a long time. And being a multi-passionate entrepreneur and a Manny-Gen, I had lots of fingers in pies and all of them were working. But it wasn't until we kind of went, hang on a minute, this is, for me, someone that's seen, the last 10 years and what goes on, this is the only thing I have seen work where you can get an income, a flexible income on your own terms whilst you work elsewhere, whilst you build your soap business, your Etsy business, your digital product, your fucking market business, whatever that is, because it generates an income that you can do. And then you get to take that fucking skill of video marketing and use it when you sell your own goddamn product. Like, this is why we're passionate. You tell? I'm glad I remember.
And like,
this
you
point.
take that money from UGC and you put it into ad spend, or you put it into building your business.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, TikTok has kind of glorified this digital product life, and it's so easy, and you just put it in your bio and you just create a lot of content. But it's not. It's fucking hard. It is
bullshit.
so hard.
If it's a good digital product. Like, if you're just buying something to sell something, we're going to call it out MRR.
You're selling an opportunity.
It's not. Yeah. It's you're just becoming a saleswoman, and that's fine. It's cool. Whatever you do, you. But you haven't created a digital product and got a transformation and pinpointed a pain point. I cannot tell you the conversations that Mia and I have about, no, that's not her pain point. She's not in pain. She's not thinking that. We go over and over until we can identify exactly how you're thinking and feeling. Because if we're not nailing the pain point that you have, why the fuck would you buy our thing? And you need to be that robust.
People are not lying abed awake at night thinking, fuck, I really want a digital product. I just can't wait to sit down and watch hours and hours of videos and just get into it. They're not thinking that. You have to know how to get inside what they're feeling. You need to understand psychological triggers. And this is the sort of stuff that you learn in UGC, because you're creating content to get people to take action and help them understand, with the hooks and the problems and the solutions and all that sort of stuff. You're learning how to, it just becomes second nature when you do it all the time for brands. So that's why we get so passionate about, yes, UGC is this awesome thing. You can earn good money really quickly. You can replace your wage really quickly. But sometimes when women come into our community, we're like, yeah, sure, we'll teach you UGC. But really we're thinking, all right, we're going to take her to the next step before she even knows it. And we see their content turn around like that, and we're like, yep, sweet, she's on. And we start to say, okay, what's next for you now? You've got that income coming in. What's next?
Yeah. And so if you're listening to this and it sparked enough curiosity for you to think either A, if you have just heard about UGC, welcome to the club. It's something that we have a free workshop, all the details in the show notes, or if you're on the TikTok live, you go to the bio and you can join us there. It's a free workshop, hands-on, to learn about UGC and get yourself into the workshop as soon as you can and learn straight off the bat. We have a fast track method that takes you from absolute beginner to earning an income in 30 days or less. So that's all well and good. If you've never heard of UGC, come and start there. If you're doing UGC and you've stumbled on the podcast and okay, I am curious now how I go from here, I probably, the first thing that we would suggest is, we can nurture you inside the community to do that too, but right now for you personally, really start to hone in on your personal brand and really start to figure out what makes you magnetic, what makes you stand out, what story you've got that you can share to transform someone else's life. And if you don't quite know yet what your digital product idea might be, then I'll put a question to you, which I'd like you to sit with and kind of mull in a little bit, is who do you want to work with and who do you want to help? Because at the end of the day, like, you might think, I want to make $1 million with a digital product and I'm going to help nurses understand how to take blood better. And clearly it's not my forte. And Mia will be like, I don't think you'll make $1 million there. But there is not one part of me, even if I knew that was going to make $1 million, there's not one part of me that has enough passion, consistency, and love for wanting to teach anybody that. So I need to identify that me personally, Kristen Werner, I want to work with women around their personal confidence and their personal power. Now, that comes in many different forms over my career. And lately, it's really leaning into this confidence, becoming the CEO of your own confidence. But that's my drive in life. So if I'm doing that and that's where I'm leading from and that's what I'm here for, then doing what we're doing now with the UGC and digital marketing and how we're trying to continue to grow our legacy and our movement, it all stems from that. Like, that's who I want to work with. I want to work with mums. I want to work with women. I want to just empower you to be better, do better, and have all the confidence in the world. So I know that that's come from that place. So I would really encourage you, if you don't know, is to think, okay, who do I want to work with? And that person may change or you may not know. And this is like that moment where you're like, damn, okay. That would be a really great place to start.
Yeah, and this is a bit of a stark reminder because we went through this. You have to sell people what they want, not what you want, because they will tell you what they want. And although you've got to work with the type of person that you really want to help, but they will tell you what they want. And this is why we teach our students, back it before you build it. You need to understand your audience, understand what they want before you go and build this big course and then get to the point where you're trying to sell it and people just don't want it. So there's a fine line between selling what you really want and what your audience wants. So, and we work with our students through this.
Yeah, but still knowing that, knowing that the type of audience, the person that you want to work with, but then understanding what do they want. And I think, that's a perfect coupling to really get your head around. And if that's all we leave you with this episode, just that thought of, okay, amazing. Who do I want to work with and what do they want? What are your audience asking from you now? What do people come to you and ask you for advice from? What have you been through? And this is where, ideal customers and audience, we can go down that path in another podcast. We go down that path inside the community. But that part is all around, what are people asking you already and how can you help them? What transformation? And you are usually your ideal customer. You 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 10 years ago, you are usually that person and you've been through something and now you want to take somebody else through that step. So that's what we say when we say UGC and beyond is we're here to support the start of your journey and get you going. And then if you're in UGC and you're like, yeah, I don't know how to do the next part. I'm curious. I didn't know there was more. I want to earn a more passive income. Then let us know because that's something that we're hugely passionate about and we can help you get there.
And another thing that we teach our students too, which is really, really important, and I don't think it's talked about enough, is things like knowing your numbers, knowing your metrics with your content, like speaking to the brands, getting like, what was my hook rate? What was my hold rate? Understanding how to improve this for the brands, but then knowing that stuff is really important when you go and sell your own product and, even knowing your earnings per lead and your conversion rates and all that sort of stuff. If you start learning that now, which is what we take our students through in the community too, when you get to that point of selling a digital product or creating whatever it is you really want to create, you've already got that in your back pocket and you've been paid this whole time to learn it through UGC.
Yeah. Amazing. All right. Well, I think we've covered everything we need to except for the loves don't loves, and I don't have any, but should we just see what we can come up with?
I did my homework again and I wrote them down because I got to write down everything because I forget. My don't love this week is the overwhelmingness of what's happening in the world. Like the bombardment of news and stories and the TikToks and what's happening. Like sometimes I watch it and I'm just like, fuck, what's the point of like anything that I'm doing. Like everything in the world is just so overwhelming and so scary. I just want to switch it off and not
moving
watch it.
so quickly as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
it's really
the pace
scary.
at which things are moving is like, oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah. And every day there's something else and there's something, it's just really overwhelming. And I think we spoke about this last week or the week before, is just that overconsumption of content. It's not good.
Yeah.
Not good for you. What you're trying to do. It can prevent you from creating content. It can, really put a halt on things. And, obviously you need to understand what's going on in the world and, help where you can help and all that. But it's that our brains weren't made to consume so much news and content all the time. So I've been, struggling with that lately, and I just have to get to the point where I'm just like, nah, turn it off, not watching it. So that's my don't love this week, because it's getting really hectic out there in the world. But my love this week, totally random and off topic, but did you know you can schedule texts in your phone to send later?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only discovered that the other day.
Game changer.
I'm like, oh my God. So now when I remember someone's birthday, I'll just write the text and schedule it for that date so I don't forget on the day.
Or even I find that I'm like I'll be lying in bed and be like, oh, I've got to reply to that person. And I'm like, they're not going to get it now.
It's too late.
But you'll be better off if you schedule it for 8 a.m. and then they get it and you're like, did that last night? Psych.
And you just like, you're on top of everything. You're organized. You didn't forget the anniversary or whatever it is. Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
So, go and have a look in your iPhone to find that feature, because it's awesome. All right, what about your loves, don't loves?
I can't think of a don't love now, so I can skip past that because whatever, we don't need that. The weight of the world's too much anyway. So I'm going to give you my love because I don't know why this didn't hit me like a 10-ton truck at the start. I went away for a girls' weekend. Fuck, a girls' weekend is so good. Oh
Mine's
my God.
Tomorrow. It's not a weekend, but tomorrow's my. It's going to be loose.
Just a girls' weekend. Like we hired a houseboat that didn't go anywhere. It was just moored, and we went there. And there's 5 of us. We just drunk all weekend, and we dressed up as the Spice Girls. Because
luckily the houseboat didn't go anywhere. Could you imagine?
I know. I don't trust any of them driving it. So I'm like, I'm in charge. And then I was like that drunk. I was like, I don't trust myself. We weren't that drunk. I shouldn't say that. We just had some nice nights of champagne and bubbles and lols. But we dressed up as the Spice Girls because that's what 40-year-old women do. Whatever. Judge me, don't judge me. Who cares?
Standard.
But it was just
standard.
Wholesome. Like, when I just like laughing is one of my favorite things to do. And I just didn't stop the whole time.
It's pretty good.
It's just so good. So that was my love.
Yeah, you need that. Especially like and when you're a mum too, you get stuck in mum land, and sometimes you forget to laugh. It's like I haven't laughed and it's been like a week. I've just been yelling at the kids all day. So you've got to make that time.
Yeah. And even like, I sent Mia a Slack message the other night just about that, and probably my don't love is that 4 till 7 p.m, same shit, different day. Come home, unpack, have a snack, have dinner, make dinner. Been doing it for 8 years, and it's just a lot. And then, like, it was just nice when you're away. Like, I just didn't have to make anyone a snack. Like, we all made each other snacks, and we're all mums, and we all, like, for dinner we just had a cheese board. No one had to cook a damn
dinner.
thing. And, like, just somebody was like, another bottle of champagne?
That's
yes,
my
please.
dinner.
Gin? Yes, please. I was like, oh,
yeah.
My cup is so full.
Yeah. And me and my friends, we actually try to schedule it in once a month because it is hard to get everyone together. So we just go, this date, once a month, it's got to happen. Otherwise you go, it's stir crazy.
Love that. Right. So that's our Loves Don't Loves, and we'll see you next week.
Hooroo.
Shit podcast. There's so many good ones too. Hey, cheeky little question for you. Have you ever wondered how you get paid for the content you create? Like, how are creators in their 40s using paid brand deals, which is what's called UGC, if you want to put in little brackets, user-generated content? How are they using that tool to build digital skills and create flexible income online in like 30 days or less? Like, that's what we're talking about when we talk inside our community around UGC and how to start with UGC. And you can do this without an audience, without a niche, and you don't even need your own product. This free workshop can give you the kind of tools like it gave Kirsty, who ended up pitching to a brand, and 48 hours after she did that, she landed her first paid brand deal for over $400. And Katrina did the same. After 12 hours, she pitched to a brand and she landed herself
a $350 paid deal, all from learning this stuff inside our workshop. So if you want the link, go to the show notes. We'll see you in there.